Hello everyone, this is John for PokerVIP.com, and in this video we are carrying on with our mammoth TonyBet series where we're going to be running 24 parts of the video, all 30 minutes long. And essentially what we're doing is we're loading up TonyBet and we're sitting at 4 tables, and it's going to be a mix of stakes. Throughout this season you're going to see micros, low, medium, and probably some high stakes as well. And we might even throw in a few guest appearances, a few guest coaches, maybe some PLO, and really just show you everything TonyBet has to offer. So this is a part of the Grinding TonyBet series. We want to show you everything they have to offer, and basically so you guys can enjoy it and come and sign up and basically make a lot of money. You're going to receive huge rewards, big deposit bonuses, rake races on both TonyBet and Poker VIP, and weekly rake back payments of up to 80% or 25% as the absolute minimum. So yeah, please get signed up and please come and play. But for now, we're going to just grind and talk about the hands. Top left table 50 NL, top right table 10 NL, bottom table 5 NL, and the bottom right table, I'm actually trying to start a game. And this is something I don't normally do in a video. I normally just, jump in a game that's going. But I thought we'd come and see what happens. And basically just sit down and get something going. Maybe play a bit of heads up, three-handed, and just discuss that if it happens. If not, I'll load up another table. Ace 10 here, pretty interesting hand because basically a player straddled. If you click options on the table, you can see this option of straddling. So a player straddled, a player limped, and we isolated basically, or just basically tried to steal that money. But in C-bet flop, that's going to be really good for us and not so good for the big blind who overcalled. We're definitely going to barrel this turn with the ace of spades in our hand. Fives here, I called flop, and I think turn's going to be a fold. He min-raised pre-flop, I defended button, he's half-stacked. It's fine to call. Lots of games running. There's a lot of PLO running, actually, at this time of day, which is where a lot of the regs seem to be. There is a 2-5 PLO, there's a 1-2 PLO, well, a 1-2-50. They do €1, €2.5 blinds for there. Tons of games going, lots of micros. Might hit a 2NL game or something soon if this bottom right table doesn't pick up, but hopefully we can just have a 5, 10, 25 and 50 NL video, really showing all of the stakes there. So yeah, going to fold the ace-7 under the gun, and 10-6 off we're going to fold as well. So yeah, the straddling's really cool. Basically people will just be action hungry and want to blind post under the gun for double the size of the big blind. So it definitely makes the game play bigger, makes it play looser, definitely creates action. So I am very much for people straddling, and then we're going to go ahead and attack it. Just to make you guys aware, if you look at this bottom left table, you see Coca, and on the top right table you see this Tratacusis. They both have this little icon, and that basically is just the phone icon. You can play TonyBet on Android and iOS, so you can just sit on your couch watching telly, drinking beer, playing some TonyBet. Obviously, no limit hold'em PLO, but they also have the open face Chinese, games, the OFC, which is what they were known for. To start out, they started out as just an open face Chinese site, and now they've introduced these other games in. So if that interests you, definitely get involved in there. And they even run Pineapple and Progressive Pineapple games. Make sure as well, you check out the tournaments and sit and goes. Really love this software. And you can basically tell what this site is like. You see all the chat, regs and recreationals are chatting. They're not very good. You're going to get very bad opponents who think they're very good, who basically deposit a certain amount of money and will just play until it's gone, which is why you can see these random stack sizes: 47.83, 18.04, 36.25, and that's at a 50 NL game. So serious money just like on offer there. Does it mean they will be a fish? Generally. You can auto rebag. You can see I've got it ticked here, so you're always up to 100 big blinds, and any good reg will do that, unless they have like a really good short or mid stack strategy. But on a site like this, a good reg should do it, because we want to have everyone covered. We want to win the maximum. We want to exploit. Notice he got in ace jack there and rivers it. 6-7. I open blind versus blind, and we'll go ahead and just barrel this. Ace-6 suited under the gun is pretty close. I definitely play a wider range on sites like this, and because I will always be playing 4 to 8 tables, so I can definitely concentrate. I want to play as many pots as possible with these players, so I definitely open up my ranges a good few percent from all positions. Call all in with 7-7 is not good. Yeah, these guys are just absolute wallies. I know a few Poker VIP members who are grinding this site pretty hard and making money. Like, making serious money from rewards alone that, they're making so many buy-ins per week. Then I'm going to try a little 4-bet here. We don't really know much about this guy, but I definitely have a nice hand to do it with. The Ace-5 suited. And the 7-8, I actually misclicked there. I meant to fold. I call pre-flop versus a min-raise, which is fine. Oh, this guy jams. We're going to have to call because we're getting 4-1. I'm going to fold the 7-8. I meant to fold that flop. This guy just shows 5-7 suited. So we even get it in as a pretty big favourite. He bricks the first run. We're running it twice. Oh, second run. No. Okay, lovely. Yeah, I mean, do I need to say any more about TonyBet? I understand the table, it doesn't look great because, 152 euros, whatever, but that was almost a full buy-in. That was a guy who should have folded pre-flop, obviously. Should have not gone all in pre-flop, obviously. And, we just played simple mathematic. We just made a mathematical decision. We're getting 4-1 with Ace-5 suited. We call. So, even if we're behind or up against kings or whatever, we're still getting the right price. But he doesn't know that. He really just doesn't understand it. He just thought he'd gamble. So the money is there to be picked up off the floor. I promise you. They also run cap games. Don't know if that interests anyone. Definitely doesn't interest me, unless I see like lots of fish in there where you sort of have like a 30 big blind cap on how much you can put in into the pot. Ace-9 definitely opening the cutoff in a 600 game. Get a call, and I think we can just go for a c-bet here. And so it looks good. Going to go for a nice squeeze with the ace-king. And going to fold the king-5. So on a gut shot here, we might have the best hand up against a hand like jack-queen, jack-9. So I'm just going to check and basically decide on river what to do. With the squeeze, really good flop for us. Going to bet around 2/3 pot. And obviously not think about folding, even though we are deep. And the ace here, I'm going to bet, and I'm going to bet really small, thinking he's often going to just have an 8 or a 10 if he has anything. So I'm going to bet, and then I'll fold if he raises. Ace-king, interesting spot. He's going to have some overpairs, which I can put a ton of pressure on. Up against 10s, we have a live ace-king, 3 or diamond, which I think is kind of near to the top of his range here. So I'm just going to jam and expect him to fold a lot, or, if he calls, we're going to have so much equity. But yeah, it's very hard for him to call, 60 big blinds on the turn. Ace-jack here, I assume this guy was a fish, so I ISO 3-bet, but we've been 4-bet behind, so we're just going to fold our ace-jack. Obviously repping quite a strong hand there. One thing to note is Ben Omaha. Lots of money on the table. Name is Omaha. Silly picture. When we have to start, analyzing players and types of players, and maybe he's like gambly, aggressive, he's talking a lot. Hey VIP, I think we become famous. It seems like lots of people know this account. So I will say good luck. If that's any of you guys watching, please leave a comment, let me know it was you. I hope you have a really good day and good luck. Ernesto Cell. Doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't ring a bell. Okay, so 6-8 here, I'd call pre-flop, check on flop. I could have led turn there, maybe. But I basically think if he checks turn, then I can bet river. So yeah, Ben Omaha, the reason, we consider him loose is because he probably likes to play Omaha, which means more sort of like gambly aggressive when they play Hold'em generally. He's got lots of money, so, he could just be on a spin-up, or just, absolutely fearless. And a funny picture, which means he's probably got a personality. Queen 4 suited, I peel, and we are playing heads up here. This is something I've never done in a video, and we are basically game starting, and I think this game looks very good for us. Because he's on his phone. This is some guy just chilling on his phone. Maybe on his lunch break. I'm making this at 12:30 p.m. just afternoon. Going to bet here with my 2 overs and backdoor flush draw. Don't exactly love betting this spot because we're going to get called by a lot of ace-x's and small to mid pairs. But maybe can blow them off the pot on some interesting turn cards. Even though it's just the min raise, I'm going to fold because we have a player behind us, and I assume we are going to find it very hard to see any future streets. Going to peel with the ace queen and 5-6 suited, and queen 9 we're going to fold. So yeah, it's very hard to fold to a min raise in that spot, and certainly if we were heads up, I would not. But I think that in a spot like that, then folding is going to be best. Going to go ahead and isolate, going to check, and just going to call, and I'm probably just never going to fold this ace queen. It's just such a strong hand, and if this guy's on the phone, we've got to assume he might be capable of just, bombing off to us, like I say, on his lunch break. Ace queen here just going to go ahead for a half pot bet. Ace queen just going to think for a few seconds, make him think I'm pondering decision, or I'm actually sat here thinking of Vegas and the fucking Mirage. Good river, not so much. Spades get there, but we have the queen of spades, so it blocks, king queen of spades, queen 10 of spades, ace queen of spades, so it would just be a call as always. He checks, I assume he's not going to have much, so I'm going to give him a monster price to call and just try and get him to snap me with way worse, which he does. Not too sure if we can see the hands. Oops, that's not the hand history one. Sorry. He had Jack 8 of hearts, so yeah, I think we played that hand pretty perfectly and got the maximum from him on the river. Isolated the ace 2 suited, going to see about the flop, opening the ace 6 suited and folding the queen deuce. And again, look at this Raitu 1987 guy. He's on his phone. He bought in for a full buy-in. He hasn't reloaded. This guy is a recreational, guaranteed. Ace 2 here, I'm going to bet pretty big and maybe just try and blow him off a chop. A6, really bad flop for us, 3-way, so just going to be a check fold. Ace 2 suited, we will just bet fold. He calls, so I guess we're chopping versus ace 10 or something. Oh wow, he has an 8? Okay, bloody hell. I didn't ever expect anyone to check something like that on the river. I don't know if he trapped me or I don't know if he trapped himself. No more talk, think, I cry. Oh god, all these people are crazy. Queens versus ace 8 on the table where we had that fun earlier with the guy versus the 5-7 suited. Jack deuce suited here, we get 3-bet. Gonna fold. Understanding of opponents and basically just learning about player types is something that's going to be really important to a poker player, and something you guys should definitely take notice of. Any little thing you have, you should perceive them as something, and then you should build that into a fact. Is kind of the best way of putting it. So, we assume because he's on the phone, he's probably not paying too much attention. He might be a recreational, and he's probably tabling. We have now seen a hand where it looks like he played the hand pretty bad, and we got quite a lot off him, and he was a bit gambly, and it kind of suits him. So now we can kind of confirm that he is that guy. He's 3-betting a lot, all of this good stuff. Interesting here, Ben called a 3-bet and then check raise flop. Okay, that makes sense. Ace Jack, I quite like that snap. But he sadly gets cooled. Jack 9 we call, again, just a spot I'm probably just never going to fold. Especially if I see undercards to a Jack. Which we do. Don't really like it now that a straight draw has developed. I'm going to check the river and call. Just assume that he's going to bluff this river a good amount of the time. And probably not ever really call me with worse. Yeah, nice. Welcome to Trap City. He sat down at the wrong table. Or at least I hope he did. I hope I get that other €9. Not too sure what's going on this 50NL table. Okay, we're off. Guess he was just waiting for someone to rebuy. This guy's just 3-bet me so much. He just wants to create big pots and, go broke or spin up as fast as possible, which we will oblige. Have you noticed now as well, he's changing his raising size? He used to just min raise, now he's potting. I'm going to stick to min raising though. We could definitely exploit as well by like 3xing or, our larger hands. I don't know if he's really going to notice. A6, maybe a bit loose with Ben on the button, but so far I think it's okay. We have been 3-bet really large here by Ernesto, so we're going to muck. I'd happily get it in preview every hand Pastor. A6, we're just going to call. 10 Jack, we're going to open. Wish I had the ace of clubs. Ace of clubs, I just check raise, get it in. This hand, though, is going to be a fold. 10 jack, very good flop for us, and this is against the weaker player, so we're just going to bet around 2/3 pot and hope he does something dumb like pots it or just shoves or something like that. Calling's good. And I'm just going to carry on betting. You know, it's kind of one of those things like if I'm beat, fair enough, but I think this guy's just going to call down and spaz so often with worse hands. So, yeah, I mean, we're just going to call this turn, then call any river. Obviously, if another club comes, it doesn't feel great, but I'm just going to stick to this line and try and trap him and try and let him hang himself, basically. Ace deuce are going to call. We're going to call a jack 10 as planned. And he has a 4, which is a shame, but I definitely think he is liable to spaz there, so all good. Ace deuce going to fold, called flop. Going to have to fold turn. King 7 we're going to fold, 4-5 we're going to fold. Ace deuce we're going to bet, because essentially if we check we never win this pot and it's going to be very hard to go to showdown. So we're just going to be one and done. He's talking as well. It's great when people are talking. Generally when they're talking, they ain't going to be playing. You know, if he's just like interested in typing and whatnot, then you can take it as a sign of weakness and get a lot of bluffs through. Like I say, it's going to be an epic. Then I'm just going to 4-bet here, and if he jams, I'll obviously have to call, but he's just 3-betting so often that ace 10 suited has to be, you know, pretty huge. He actually peels, and luckily we flop gold. He's going to have, like, literally a random 2 cards here. I think we're going to be a favourite. Oh, he wasn't all in. So we get all the money, and then we have the nuts. Our EV will look good. He just has 8-9, yeah. Poor guy. Poor guy. Just calls off half his stack pre. And then ships the flop, drawing pretty dead. So I think the point has been proven in the fact that, you know, starting tables is a good idea. You know, it literally, I mean, I guess it's kind of bum hunting, although I would play anybody. That guy has literally, and I promise you this is exactly what he's done. He's been on his lunch break, he's got his phone out, sat in the canteen, he's deposited €25, and he's had some fun and gone broke. That is literally what's happened. Which, yeah, pretty amazing. So we're going to just sit there, basically, and just hope it happens again. I gotta check down this 7-8 suited. Probably going to bet the river. Good river for us to bluff. He snaps, so I guess he's going to have 2 pair or something. Well, he snaps at ace 8. I'd probably say that's a bad call generally. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm going to call in position with King Jack. We can definitely 3-bet this hand as well. But considering we think he's a weaker player, calling is certainly not incorrect in position with most cards. A little bit worried that Ben's behind us and there's 2 spades, but obviously calling with a straight draw and an over card. Hoping we just see the ace or 9 of hearts. Oh, 7 of hearts, that's not good. He bets pretty small. This is great. We're getting 4-1 with a straight draw. If he has a hand like Queen 9 of spades or Ace Queen of spades, then we're in serious trouble, but we're just going to call and, you know, try and hit. We do hit the straight. Flush gets there, though. Pretty interesting spot if he jams. I think it would be a fold. Versus this sizing, it's pretty interesting. I think he bets bigger with a flush. And this is something I don't normally do, but I think this guy is like, you know, he's just shown that he's capable of calling with worse, so I'm going to go all in for value. If he has a flush, we look silly. If he calls with worse, we look like a genius. Deuce 3 bottom left, it limps blind versus blind. I bet flop and check turn, and he actually just folds there. And Deuce 3, we're going to value bet the river. And again, that is playing an exploitative style. That is definitely not GTO. I'm pretty sure that's not GTO. And you know, a lot of sites, you know, I would probably just call, but versus his sizing, versus his player type, everything was just leading to the decision of, nope, you can actually get value here. So you should probably go all in and expect him to call with all of his sets, 2 pairs. And, you know, you never know, maybe even worse. Going to c-bet my gut shot and backdoor flush draw. Get it through. Table's obviously not that great, but there are 2 almost full stacks now who we consider are weak players, and one guy who's just really desperately trying to punt off his 18 big blinds. Player sat there though, that's good. We're just going to sit on that 25 and L table, waiting like a vulture or a hyena. Always forget which one it is. Okay. He shoved with fours. He waited all this time for pocket fours and wins the first one. Don't think he's going to win the second. So he stays stagnant. Lost a little bit on rake. Queen 8 suit going to open cut off in the 50NL game. Being 3-bet again by Ben. I think we're going to opt to defend. Essentially, by defending, it just stops him auto, like, 3-betting us all the time. And we could definitely think about 4-betting, but Queen 8 suited plays okay. Certainly, hand like Queen 9 suited, Queen 10 suited feels a little more fun. Flop second pair, pretty easy call. Turn's dreadful for us. This will be a fold now. Even though this is a card he will bluff a lot, you know, we are just doing bad versus so many hands now. So sadly, it's a check fold. You know, 10 Jack gets there, any ace gets there. Could already have had us crushed, so not an ideal turn card. But it is one of those things. He is going to barrel that turn a lot. But he seemed to barrel, you know, not super quick, and it was a pretty large sizing, so just bet sizing really looked like it was something of value. King Jack, we open, and we flop a straight draw again, so we're just going to start by betting. Ace 10 10, going to check this flop. Going to pot control and induce bluffs, basically. We do miss out value versus flush draws, of course, but I think the pros outweigh the cons of checking. One better try with Ben. Okay, so they're saying you shouldn't try this stuff with Ben. I'm happy to try. I guess I'll bet my ace 3 now, just for protection and value. Definitely can get gold by so much worse. You know, Queen Jack, Queen King, 2 diamonds, 2 clubs. Maybe even worse. King Jack here, I'm just going to check. I don't want to get raised, basically, and there's a chance we might see a very cheap river. It looks like we are. What a great spot. What a great spot. What a great time to be alive when you're getting that sort of price with a straight draw 4-way when the pot's already pretty big. 6-9 wins. We're up against King Jack of Hearts as well. We were not in that great of a spot, but we played our hand just fine. So yeah, like I say, PLO, Hold'em, Open Face Chinese, Sit and Goes, tournaments, Pineapple, Progressive Pineapple. He's back. He is back. He's got another 15 minutes. He's just had his sandwich. And we're back at it with a Raitu. Hopefully we can just stack him again. We start with 9-10 of spades. He raises. Who would have thought? Great hand in position. Very playable. Great flop. Against this guy, I'm just going to raise, get it in. And we could certainly just call in position as well. But yeah, I think this guy can just ship so many worse hands. And also just call, yeah, and just really spaz and stuff. So I'm not folding. Be funny if the first hand he comes back, I double him up, and everything I've just been talking about is null and void. Oh my god, don't do it. Oh my god. Could you imagine that red ace on the river? I mean, yeah. This is not set up. This is not rigged, you know. This is literally happening. Set of fours, this guy limps. He could have aces. But yeah, I'm never folding, and I'm never raising on this board. Like, if this guy's bluffing, awesome. I'm in position, I have a set. Interesting turn card as lots of draws develop, but I'm just going to call again and then get it in on any river, basically. But we don't want to see like a 5 or 6 or a spade, essentially. But if he has an ace, then he can't have the flush, but he could have a hand like 7-10 of spades or something that he's been funking about with. But yeah, I mean, we're just basically calling to trap and keep him happy, and river is going to be a jam. He snaps, and he has a 6 offsuit. Wow, guys, get signed up, please. Make some money. You know, you never know, like, how long games are going to be this good. So far, they've been this good for about 3 months since TonyBet opened. They don't seem to show any signs of slowing down, but get in and get that money whilst it's there. 7-8 off, peeled a min raise, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and check call flop. With my second pair and some backdoors. Turn the straight draw here. Check, check. And river, I think I'm going to value bet and make it look like I had a misdraw and bet pretty large and hope he just snaps me off with ace high, maybe a 6, something like that. But I just don't ever expect to have me beat once he checks turn, unless he has a miracle deuce. So I'd rather bet big there, because I think if I bet small, it looks like I'm trying to get value, and I'm not too sure he's the type I can induce. NSL says nice. Just noticed he's in the chat on the bottom right table. Yeah, it was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. Gonna go ahead and raise the Queen 4 suited. And gonna definitely go ahead and see bet this flop. Interesting that the top right table seems to have broke. But we're only a few minutes at the, towards the end of the video now. Not a good turn card for us, so we are going to check him up with the Queen 4 suited. He can have lots of hands which beat us. The way he has played it, maybe just a 7, but not too sure I can get him to fold ace 7. But I can beat 4, 5, and 5, 6 if he opts to check them. But this is just going to be a check fold. He actually just has ace high. So yeah, he's probably a good player. I would probably bet that ace high if I was him though. Jack 8, yep. We'll call you with the nuts. We will definitely call you with the nuts. Versus 9-5. I mean, that's one way to play 9-5. Blind post here, rock and stad. So just going to go ahead and raise and expect him to fold, or if he calls, we're going to be in position with a pair. Looks like we're breaking the tables, guys. Looks like we have crushed on. I'm not going to open new ones just because, like I say, there's only 3 minutes of the video left. People might come, so we'll just focus on these 2 left-hand tables because there's definitely plenty of action there. And like I'm recording this, it's literally now 10 to 1, like, you know, in the afternoon. It is 12:50 p.m. You know, it's not midnight, it's not Friday, you know, it's not the weekend. This is Wednesday, I think. Wednesday afternoon. I'm going to bet my 5, so value and protection. Half pot will generally do the trick. Kings. Nice to have kings. Ace 2 suited under the gun. Maybe a bit too loose. I'm playing lots of ace rag suited. Is Ben going to 3-bet me again? He is really onto me today. And it looks like the bottom table's breaking. Yeah, I'm going to defend. Actually, he's 4-betting better. I'm under the gun. The only problem is, like, he knows that I'm going to start reacting with 4 bets, but I think with the blocker and a suited connector like this, it's fine to 4-bet and bet then calling. Going to fold the Queen Jack. He snaps pretty quick, which was kind of expected. And I think I am just going to go for a very small bet, like is what I would do with my aces and kings here. He calls pretty quick. He could literally have anything, but I am just going to play this hand like I have aces and go for it, even though we know he is a little gambly. This isn't like, you know, a random spaz. You know, we open under the gun, we 4-bet. We have a very good flop for our hand and what we're repping. And yeah, this river now, I'm going to check and induce a bluff. I think he's going to be floating pretty wide. I don't think he has that many ace X's. The problem is if he checks back, I lose value from like jacks or tens. I'm actually going to check it and make it look like I had a hand like kings and hope he jams. It'd suck if he had me beat, but it doesn't feel that way. Damn it. There goes the €165 pot. But I love the way I played that hand. I am not sad about that at all. And well played to Ben. He made a full house and I hit the ace and he got all the money. I cannot hate. I'm sure there'll be some chat for that one. Wow. But yeah, the river is a very interesting spot just because of the way I perceive him. And, you know, what would he really be repping if he jammed the river? Like he floated twice with ace king? Maybe, but I blocked that. You know, what else is he repping? Full houses, a flush. Well, what flushes does he have when the ace of hearts is out there? You know, his floats will generally be ace highs. So I feel like he is often going to have nothing and was just kind of like double floating. Or he might go ahead and try and turn a hand like tens or jacks into a bluff there. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and see about a gut shot. And the ace king we're going to fold. And we're actually at the end of the video. So we're going to sit out. We will sit out on here as well. So yeah, very interesting last hand of the game. I'd love to hear your comments and reviews about that hand. Never fun to lose a €165 pot right at the end of a good session. But that is poker. We make our lines, we stick to them, and we hope we make money from them. And long term, we will. Good luck to Ben. Seeing someone with €321 on a table is just awesome. It's very impressive, no matter how you won it. But you played great, and you outplayed me. So yeah, good luck everyone, and I'll be back for the next part. Good game, good luck, and goodbye.